Oh, good morning. It's church day. It's church day here in Arizona. Good morning, everybody. Get myself all situated. I've had some wonderful company the last few days. I love good people. Hello, Julie. Anyway, I always sit around and think, and I'm sitting there thinking so dang hard. It's like, why don't I just sit and think out loud and make a video? I'm 64 years old, and I've had one hell of a hard life. I might as well share my life and my experiences and my knowledge with the world, because that's my mission now. My mission in life is to expose to the world what I have learned, what I have seen, and what people really don't understand or don't understand. And I want justice. Someone sent me this in the mail. I just got it yesterday. Justice for the real JFK Jr. That's me, people. That's me. So thank you so much for your gifts. It really means a lot. And when I get gifts like this, they come from Amazon or whatever, and it's really hard to know who it came from. Shannon, thank you so very, very much. Along with thank all you Lions so very much for sharing things with me. Wonderful, beautiful gifts. Are you ready for the quiet journey? It's coming, people. It is coming. The professional little movie documentary that was made. It's coming. I'm hoping it will be on my new website this Wednesday. That said, I'm supposed to get 1,200 bumper stickers. So when you send me a nice little gift, I get gifts, wonderful gifts all the time, which is cool. But they're going to be in, all the gifts I get are going into the church, the healing center. They'll be on display there. I would love to make a little church, a healing center, not really quite a church, but a friendship center, a healing center, a center where we can meet wonderful people and not evil people, and expose the evil ones, a home base for getting the truth out. I'm all over the place this morning. I really am. But it's all good. It's all good. It's church day. Dizzy, Grand Rising, and Michelle and Christy and Kathy. Thank you so much for joining my live video this morning. It is so appreciated. I've been under the weather. Seems like there's always something under the weather. God heals me for this, and then God heals me for that, because the devil's always attacking me one way or another. My arm has been really painful, but I think that's because I'm a dumbass. Yeah, I'm human. I admit it. My little dog passed away, and I went out and was doing some exercise and kind of overexerted myself. So I think I pulled my muscle in my shoulder maybe. And then I smashed my hand, and then and Jody, out of the kindness of her heart, sent me some gloves the other day. She looked at my video and said, "Man, your hands are toast." So she sent me some wonderful work gloves, and my dumbass didn't have them on. But it's all good. It's always all good. Hello, Justine. Yeah, some wonderful people were here visiting. I made some tacos last night for everybody. But wonderful company. I love when people come by and are so nice and kind. Lots of hugs and everything. It's great. It's great. But it's church days. Let's do a little preaching here. Let's do a little manifesting. let's get working on the healing center. I've been talking with a wonderful man that had run-ins with the cabal, and he made an investment, and he called me last week and he said, John, I believe in you. I want to purchase a healing center for you. We got online, contacted a realtor, and this place is it's like $670,000 or something like that. But I stopped by and looked at it again yesterday. It's perfect for a healing center. We'd have to put some walls in and make a few changes. We would like to put a coffee bar in there, so when you walk in, you could have coffee and a Danish and just feel at home. And then a place we could set up the webcams for people to come and basically share their testimony, whatever it is, and visit, get things off their chest. We could have a home-based little office to get my story out. So if that happens, that's wonderful. If it falls through, God didn't want it to happen. Yeah. I love you, Lions, so very much. I really, really do. None of this could be happening without you. I just want to remind you that with all your shares and your prayers, and especially your prayers, it's great. I'm 64 years old, and I've had one hell of a life. I was born basically in the White House. My father was the president, and at 3 years old, my father was assassinated. And I'm sharing the Kennedy files, basically. I'm sharing what happened. And they use identity theft. Organized crime uses identity theft in their mob wars. That's how they achieve their big bucks. They find people, they strong arm people, they convince people, they let people know that they're going to go with the program or they're not going to be alive. Strong arm tactics. But anyway, that's how our organized crime works. They're not good people. And they use stolen identity. They use identity theft. It is their big, big money maker. Just my identity theft, my mother's identity theft, and my sister's. And it didn't stop there. It went to my aunts. They unalived my uncles and my cousins. That made them billions and billions of dollars. Just think what you could do with billions and billions of dollars. Well, when they did that, that's what organized crime got. That's what they stole. And it is all covered up. They are at the top with the presidents in their pocket. Straight up. They're at the top with the presidents in their pocket. I hope you understand how big this is, because your votes never mattered. It's all organized crime. And when I talk, people, when I'm sitting here preaching, I was always taught. I was in the special ops. They were teaching me many, many things, how to be strong for one, how to survive for one. But they were teaching me many things. And one thing they would always tell me, do not believe anything you hear. And only half of what you see. Don't believe me, people. I'm telling you that right now. I've lived that my life. I don't believe anything I hear, and only half of what I see, because you can be deceived. Now, with that said, we all have human instincts. We all do. And we all have a third eye. And what is that third eye? We are all like gods. We all have energy. I have been dead. I really have. I've been killed and I was dead. I was floating above my body. I was going to the big bright light. What is God to me? What is my God? God is the biggest ball of energy. It's like a nuclear light. It is that bright. I've always joked around my whole life, because this happened to me when I was young. I said, God's the big bug zapper in the sky. That was my little joke, just to get me over it. Because when I left my body, I could not control myself. I couldn't say, okay, Here's the controls. Here's the steering wheel. I'm going left. I'm going right. No, I could not control my spirit, my soul. I was going to that bright light, that big bug zapper in the sky, whether I liked it or not. That was God. And while I was going up there to that big bright light, I was talking to that big bright light. And I said, God, why are these people so evil? Why did these people just kill me? Why have they been torturing me? And I was talking to my God. And I'll be straight up, there was no Jesus. There was this big light. Now, is Jesus real or not? I can't say it because I don't believe anything you hear. Go back to the saying. But I myself had no control. I was going to see God. I was going to this big, brightest light you've ever seen, the biggest ball of energy. So when I pray to God, I remember that time. I go directly to the source. I have a third eye. I see that in my head. I've visioned it probably just about every day. What does God look like? God's that big, bright light. It's like when you turn on the lights in the dark and you're staring right at it and you're blinded. That's God to me. So when I pray to God, the big ball of energy. And we all have, where am I going with this, people? Do you get it yet? We are all energy. Now, I was sitting on the couch watching some stupid TV, and I was thinking, we all are this energy, but we've already been programmed from the time we got here. How is that possible? How is it possible? Well, think about it. We have instincts. Where'd those instincts come from? How did we get here? If we're all like energy that goes and sees God and then he brings us back as energy. But to explain what I wanted to explain about energy and what I think of God, I grew some cucumbers. I grew some green beans, right? You plant a seed and it starts growing. You think, oh, it's just a plant. No, it's energy. It's energy. And how do you know that? How do I know that? Okay, so I got this. I love cucumbers. If you've ever seen my cucumber video where I was sharing, where I was making homemade cucumbers, and then TikTok booted me off. So I was growing a cucumber, and I put in a stake. Okay, so you got a cucumber plant. It's a couple feet tall, right out in the middle of nowhere. And then a foot over, you drive a stake. Okay, so you pound this wooden stake in next to your cucumber plant. Now, these little vines on this cucumber, they reach out to that stake. How do they know that stake is there? They're not reaching out in the other direction. Once you place that stake there, they go right to it. Now, why did they go right to it? Because it's instincts. And with that said, those guys, you see a beautiful woman, it's instinct. It's already in us. It's already placed in us. And I always think, we're basically, when we're born, when we're, just like that seedling that already knows where it needs to go to grow. And I forgot where I was going with that. I really did. I get rambling. I have no scripts. I just ramble. Please share my video. It's church day. Yesterday, cartoon day. Tomorrow's trash day. I've always had different days. I was taught different days of the week or certain days, but today it's church day. And I just wanted you all to know where I come from when it comes to God, the healing center that I want to manifesting for. I'm getting all kinds of wonderful comments. Thank you so much for your comments. Wanda, Mary, Cynthia, Carrie. Hello. Hello, all you lions. Dizzy. I wish and pray people would simply stop just sticking their head in the sand to avoid reality. Yes, we are programmed. We have rulers. We have rulers over us, and they want us stupid. They really do. They want us stupid. They want us sick. They want us to be hard workers, and they prosper off of us. Oh, there's Jody. Yeah, I was sharing a minute ago, Jody, how I was so stupid, and I bashed my hand on the fence without wearing the gloves. But my little dog Bandit, and I'll be honest, my little dog Bandit had just passed away, and I was emotionally upset. He was my buddy for about 13 years. I told Bandit more secrets than you can, just to get them off my chest, than you can even imagine. So I was kind of upset I lost my little pal. So I was digging his grave, and I was out there getting all my frustrations out, um, digging his grave. And I smashed my hand on the fence, and then I had blood all over the place. And I think I pulled my shoulder because I'm 64 years old. And, but my mind says, oh, you can do this. And I did it. But I sure pay for it afterwards. I really, really do. And somebody said, my left arm hurting so bad because it was even hurting before I did all that digging, about my heart. Wonderful comment, get my heart checked. But yeah, my heart, I had heart failure. I've been building my heart up. I wasn't supposed to. Well, the doctor said I probably wasn't going to make it. This was 2 years ago because my heart was so weak. But I've done things, I don't know how, but they just, um, yeah. Anyway, my heart's building back up. They were talking heart transplant in Las Vegas and every other thing. So thanks for your concern. I already have a heart condition, but I'm getting better and better each and every day because God's got to keep me around. And when I pray to that big bright light, I say, God, use me a little more in this life where I can say, hey, people, this is how it really is. This is the rulers over us that we need to change things. And I hope people use me and share my story and stay away from the hospital. Yeah, hospitals, they want to keep you, um, you know, they give you medicine and then that medicine, and there's another medicine. And if you see one of these great big medicine companies on your TV and they're dancing around trying to sell you a drug, like this is the wonder drug, yay, it's so awesome. Do a little research because I was taking that drug where they dance around and sing and say, if you have heart failure and diabetes, it will help you. Well, here's what happened. I was taking it. Not to say what medicine, but I was taking it. I was coughing. I was coughing up blood. And I was like, okay, this is terrible. Because I would wake up, smoke my morning cigarette. I'd be smoking my morning cigarette and I'd cough. And I would fill a Kleenex full of blood. Straight up. I would. And I was like, okay, if I'm coughing up this blood, how much longer do I have to live? Well, this went on for months. I even told both doctors, the heart doctor and my regular doctor, hey, I'm coughing up an awful lot of blood. They just said, quit smoking. It's because you smoke. They said, let's do a lung test. And then my insurance denied me that lung test. Well, if you remember my videos in the past couple of years, there was times I could not sit down on my chair because my ass hurt so bad. And it wasn't my asshole. It was right next to my ass. Within a year, I had 3 of these infections. And I would get an infection on my butt, right under my crotch, and it would get huge. It would get so painful. I could not sleep for days. It was that painful. And that happened 3 times, I believe 4 times. One time it just popped on its own. One time I had to go have it lanced because it was so deep. I had to go to the emergency room and they actually had to suck the poison out of my butt. But that happened 3 times. And I'm like, okay, so I'm coughing up blood. I'm getting these boils on my ass. And somebody sent me a message. And I read that message and they said, my father just passed away because he took this medicine where they dance around on TV trying to sell you this medicine. He was a diabetic. Her father was a diabetic. And he had been taking the regular diabetic medicine. I take it too. But then this pill came out and her father died from an infection down there. So I had all these infections going on over and over and over again. Very painful. I'd go to the doctor. What's going on with these infections? Didn't say nothing about the medicine. But then I researched the medicine, and that is a huge side effect of that medicine. It will give you infections in your groin area and can be deadly. So it took them a year, and they never told me. I had to research it myself. These doctors never told me, hey, you eat this medicine where they're dancing around on TV trying to sell you this medicine will kill you. All right, on all these commercials, they tell you the side effects. So here I am. I'm getting all these infections. I'm basically coughing up blood, saying I'm going to die anyway. And this was last year. I wouldn't come on here and say, hey, people, I'm dying. I would say, no, I'm John Kennedy Jr., and I hope to get my story out to the world. So anyway, I was like, okay, the doctor's prescribing me this medicine. And I see him all the time advertising on TV, dancing around. I'm coughing up blood. I'm just going to quit it. I don't want to die from one of these infections. If that's the cause, I'd rather die. Because I was still on the regular medicine, heart medicine, and every other thing, believing in frequencies and praying to God. So I stopped that. I just quit taking it. And I have not had an infection down there since. I stopped. It had nothing to do, me coughing up blood had nothing to do with me smoking. Because I stopped taking that medicine, and a week later, I stopped coughing up blood, and I quit getting those big, huge boils on my ass that could have killed me because they have killed others, just like that message that gal sent that her father died from one of those. So I went to the doctor and I said, hey, I stopped taking that medicine. That shit will kill you. But when I was taking that medicine, here I am coughing, spitting up blood. I took a colon test. Oh, you're positive for colon cancer. You gotta come in. So not only was I coughing up blood and having all these infections, now they're saying I got colon cancer. Why? Because I was taking a little pill where they're sharing it on TV. Hey, take this pill, take this pill. So I stopped it. I did take a colon test, one of those over the counter from the pharmacy. And guess what? Came up negative, people. So that comment started all this about the hospitals will kill you and the doctor. This is my testimony of things I have learned in this lifetime. How many of you people believe in the third eye? How many people can go and focus all their thoughts right up here in their forehead? I don't know if others can do that. I know I can do that. I can focus. Sorry for the air. I got a haircut yesterday too. But I got to sport my new hat. Thank you, Shannon. I believe it was Shannon who sent me that. Yeah. Thanks, Shannon, for the wonderful hat. It helps get the story out, and it helps me cover up my bad hair on Bad Hair Sunday. Excuse me. So anyway, you got to use your common sense. You got to use your instincts. The instincts God gave you. When I say I'm John Kennedy Jr., the real one, I was kidnapped at the age of 10, use your instincts. Because if somebody told me that, I wouldn't believe them right away. I'd have to say, wow, did this really happen? And then I'd check it out and see. Just like the cucumber plant that I was talking about. You plant a cucumber, it has instincts. If you put a steak next to that, it's going to how the fuck that's always amazed me. You plant a bush, a vegetable, and then you plant something for it to attach to. How does it know to go there? It's got to have some kind of energy signal saying, hey, shoot your vines over here and you can get taller and prosper. It's not like nobody's telling it to do that, but we've been programmed for people to tell us to do this, to tell us to do that. So anyway, I like to use my third eye and think about things. Yeah. And when I do that, when I pray, like I've said, when I pray to my God, and we all have different religions, there's so many different religions out there. And there's so many that have started wars over the years. There has been so many people die over religions. Why? Why are people in different religions killing each other off so their religion can prosper? Why are some of these religions the devil hiding in their churches? Why are some of these religions molesting and trafficking children? I'm a witness to it. I'm not just pulling this shit out of my ass. Seriously, I'm a witness to it. I was child trafficked. I've been thrown in cages. I've been beat unconscious. Really, I have beat unconscious over and over. A lot of it was for extortion, for money from the Kennedys. I didn't know who the good guys were and who the bad guys are. So I still really don't, except for follow the money trail, who ended up with the millions and millions and millions of dollars. And then knowing that our presidents at the top, they're all in the crime ring, every single one of them. I've explained how it works. And me being the son of a former president, I hope you take my advice and realize how it works. Yeah, they do the cabal. That was a comment. They thrive on your tortured energy. And this is just my version. Like I said, don't believe anything you hear and only half of what you see. Use that instinct you have inside you, just like that cucumber bush that reaches out towards that post that's put in the ground and knows where to go to thrive and prosper. But they do use energy. I had some wonderful people here, and we went out. We had a good time. We made some tacos here yesterday. We visited, and we went by where Aristotle Onassis was murdered when I was a child. I'm making my stand here in Bullhead City. I'm flying my flags out front. I'm saying I'm John Kennedy Jr. This is where I'm at. Let's go public. Let's make this world, and let's share my story. But we went by where Aristotle Onassis was murdered. There was 1,000 people there. Think about it. There was 1,000 kids there, all playing soccer, baseball, and every other thing what they were playing. Is it a cabal thing? Is it a cabal thing where they do such an evil deed, like take someone's life that is a billionaire and hide that, what they did, and then draw souls to that very spot? Now, why would I say that? Why would I say that? Because I've seen so much in the underworld and the secret societies on what they do. I've seen it. Personal eyewitness to it. Now, what have I seen? How about Walmart? How about Walmart? Are people thriving to Walmart? How many comments you think are being mentioned right now today? I got to get this from Walmart. I got to go get this from Walmart. Okay. How come you're not going to get it from a mom and pop's store? Because Walmart bought them all out. Well, where am I going with this? There was a restaurant. This is a restaurant run by the cabal. They believe we are all energy. Okay. So when they take, and you have the bloodline families, these are the billionaires. They're the billionaires. They're in this secret satanic cult. Let's say they're going to start a Chinese restaurant. I'm just throwing this out there, but I'm a witness to it. They're going to open up a Chinese restaurant. Then they're going to own that Chinese restaurant. They're going to run that Chinese restaurant. The member of the cabal will be running the whole show of this Chinese restaurant. So what do? What would they do to get power? What would they believe? Well, this is what they believe. They believe if they unalive a person that is their enemy, because there's different families and they're all fighting for the power of the top of the United States of America. But remember, don't believe what I'm saying. Think about it. So they unalive one of their enemies. They got that much power. They can unalive whoever they want, whenever they want. And they still got to be sneaky about it. But so they're building this Chinese restaurant. They're getting ready to pour the foundation of this restaurant. They already know where the cashier is going to be. It's all planned out. Here's our Chinese restaurant. Here's where the people are going to come pay for their meal. Right? So they get this soul that was energy that they unalived, and they bury him right where you're standing to pay for your meal. Straight up. They believe that energy is going to be attracting you to it. Think about it. And just remember, don't believe me. Think about what I'm saying about how that cucumber plant reaches out. Well, this is the member of the cabal and their religion and what they believe with energy. So they unalive one of their enemies. They put that body right under their cash register, right out in the open. This is what we did, but it's in secret. And then what happens when they open up that Chinese restaurant? There are literally lines of people out the door waiting to come in to stand on that dead body with all that negative energy in it. Take it. I'm just sharing a story with you people, how they work. Take it any way you want. Now think about Walmart's. It's crazy. It's crazy because I always believe a good restaurant starts with good food, good people, friendly atmosphere. And, you can't have a restaurant where somebody comes in and you feed them crap. So it all goes back to that. I was raised in a lot of weird atmospheres, but I worked in the restaurant industry also. I worked everywhere, it seemed like. And there was a Hollywood actor that was very, very famous. His uncle owned a restaurant, and I worked at this restaurant, and I was even placed in the basement in a cage at this restaurant when I was little. A lot of cabal that you don't know about are out there, and it's huge, crazy, some of their secret things they do. With that said, when you ride into a new town, when you're going from one town to another, isn't it funny how you got a Burger King on the left and McDonald's on the right? Gas station on your left, another gas station on the right. Then you go up your street and you got a Taco Bell, and then you got a freaking filet of chicken or whatever they call them now, and an Arby's. But if you go to another town, it's like deja vu. I was just here, and there was even though it's another town over, and there was a Burger King on the left, McDonald's on the right. Who's running all that? Who's running all that? Think about it. It's crazy. It's crazy. They got to keep us around. They got to keep us going to these places. Coca-Cola. Wait till you see the video, the movie, the documentary that's coming out Wednesday. I talk about Coca-Cola. Think about it. Huge, powerful company. Have you not heard of Coke? Think about it. Is there anybody here that has not heard of a Coca-Cola? And yet, when I'm a child, I'm sucking on a Coke. You know, I believe that Coke was planned so people get diabetes because it's almost like it's planned. Now you're going to the doctor paying for diabetic supplies. Huge pharmaceutical. They're making billions of dollars. So not only is Coke making billions of dollars, now you got the medical supplies treating you for drinking that Coke making billions of dollars. It's an endless cycle to get our money to keep us enslaved. Hey, Cindy, how are you doing today? Um, yeah, I don't watch the mainstream news, and it used to be rats they would find in KFC when I was a kid. They would say, "Hey, somebody found and starting a lawsuit because they found a rat in the Kentucky Fried Chicken." Well, that goes back to the employees because they got to personally dip that shit in the flour and put it in there. So if they're dipping rats in the flour, there's a lot of ways to sabotage a company like Kentucky Fried Chicken. There's so many ways the cabal will work. It's organized crime at the top. So let's say you own a town and you got a nice restaurant in that town. You got a great barbecue rib joint, right? It's your town. It's your rib joint. And then all of a sudden, somebody puts a restaurant in right next to yours to steal your business. What do? What do the cabal do? It's supposed to be America, free enterprise. If your ribs are better than the guy next door, you're going to get the business. If they're not, but that's not how the cabal see it. That's not how all these big businessmen see it. They say, "Oh, we got to get rid of that motherfucker. He's taking our business. He's taking money right out of our pockets. We all got to buy our kids shoes and feed and pay the rents and every other thing." So what do? They get some E. coli. They go into this other restaurant in the middle of the night and they smear germs all over the fucking counters and every other thing. So next thing you know, that restaurant's shut down. The health inspectors come in and say, "You guys are fucking nasty. How'd you get all this E. coli contamination? Look at all these patrons that are sick now because of you." And who was it really? It was the restaurant next door. It was the cabal. That's how they work. Our CIA's been doing that for years, people. For years. They like to sit back. They like to sit back and tell the presidents of the United States what to do. That's the way it works. That's how I'm sharing. Anyway, yeah, I've been sharing my religion, what I really think, and the quiet journey. My website, the real John F. Kennedy Jr.com, all spelled out. It takes you to a link to the historian's tale that is on Lulu and Stolen Identity, Unveiling the Real John Kennedy Jr. by John Kennedy Jr. Our government does not want you to know this book. They don't want you to know I'm alive. They don't want you to know I'm alive because all the dirty deeds they have done, all the people they have unalived, all the money they have stolen. These are the people in our power that in power over us. They don't want my story out at all. They want to bury me. They want to cover this story up. And it is so freaking true. And it exposes them all of them. What I've just shared, that your vote doesn't matter, organized crime's in there. They've been putting children in place. And how do they do that? How does our CIA, the cabal, put these children in place? It starts at the schools. They get the children young. It's a secret society to build the children up to work for them. I was going to school. The John Kennedy Jr., the whole world knew, sat next to me in class. Who else did I know when I was that age? Who did I go to the amusement park with when I was that age? Sean Hannity of Fox News. He was just a kid. But they built him up in the cabal. Why? Why'd they do that? As a child, they started him. Why? So to this day, you can say Donald Trump's the best thing since fucking sliced bread. Right? Okay. So now Sean Hannity's on Fox News making millions of dollars sharing their ideas of what they want him to say. Then you have people like Denzel Washington, film industry, Hollywood, making millions of dollars. Why? So they can use him, control him, have him set up organized crime within his little syndicate. Think about it, people. And it's been going on and on. And it's a small world. They keep Hollywood small. They keep it like their family. They only allow the people to become famous to sing to you, to act for you. And it's all controlled to take from you to give to them. I try to make it really simple for people to understand. They just need to use their third sense and reach out to what I'm saying. And my story's getting out. It really is. And I wish it would get out even more. I wish it would go viral. There was some people that came down. They rented a house, turned it into a studio. They did a documentary on me. It's a little short movie. It's 1 hour, 1 minute, and 11 seconds. But see, then my dog Bandit passed away the other day. And at the end of this movie, I've seen the movie. It's really good. They're going through it. They're making it more quality, higher quality. And this wonderful lady called me up. She said, "Let's put Little Bandit," because when they were here, they took pictures of everything. They took pictures of me and Little Bandit, and they said, "Let's put Bandit in the movie too." And I said, "That's if you're willing to change things around." And they spent a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of man hours to put this together because they know it's real. They know my story's real, and they're helping me on this mission to wake up the world. You know, you lions that are helping me. It means so much, but not to me, but to the world, that you're standing by my side in all this. It's so wonderful. But we need to get this out to the millions. We need to bust their bubble. Like I said, they don't want anyone to know my story because I expose the criminals. My story exposes the people over us, controlling us, to their criminal activity at the highest levels of presidents of the United States of America. And we need to abolish the system. Our forefathers gave us that right where we look at our system and say, they're screwing us. And our forefathers gave us that right to step in and say, stop screwing us. Let's start helping us. Let's start helping all the causes that need help. The child trafficking, the children, the homeless, and the veterans, and so on and so on and so on. All the problems that they're not fixing. Why aren't they fixing them? It's just like the drugs. You know, they want you sick, so you go buy all this expensive medicine. And I take a handful of medicines. I really do. Some of those medicines I take, $2,500 a month. Yeah, and the doctor says you got to take it or you're going to die. Straight up. It's not cheap. And guess what? It probably is cheap. Here's what society has done to us. You know, people are going to say, John, you really need to quit smoking. Yeah, I do. But I'm not. I'm not. I go crazy. I've tried to quit many, many, many times. I started at a very young age. I'm not going to quit. So you can save your comment or whatever. But here's the thing. This cigarette right here. I actually go to the Indian reservation and get these because it's the cheapest place for miles around to get a pack of cigarettes. Right here in my hometown, and I'm sure they're crazy all around the world, the price of a pack of cigarettes. I called the cigarette store the other day, and they're like, it's $10 back, $10 back, $10 back. Really? Why? Why is a pack of these $10? Why? When I was a kid, I was buying them from the store underage. I'd walk into the store. The owner of the store knew me, but he was selling me packs of cigarettes for 65 cents a pack. Marlboros for 65 cents a pack. I started smoking when I was 13. I just walked into the store, and they would sell me a pack underage. Or I'd go to the bar, and they had cigarette machines, and then you just get your cigarettes out of the machine. And like I said, they were 65 cents a pack. Now, they're $10. Marlboros are probably more. In New York, they're probably $20 a pack. But here's the thing, people. We've allowed us to pay that price. We've allowed our government to charge us. And this thing, it's a weed. It's a freaking weed. Right? How much could weeds cost? You go to the supermarket, a big thing of cilantro costs you 69 cents. Okay, so what's going on with a pack of freaking cigarettes? If it costs them 25 cents to put the filters and put this box to make it, I mean, our government was giving these away in World War II by the cartons to the soldiers. Just giving them away because they wanted everybody hooked. But what's the cost? What's the real cost of this? A quarter. My guess is a quarter to putting them. So if it costs them a quarter, then they sell it for $1, and they're making more than 50%. So let's just say, these should be $1 on the counter anywhere you go in America, but they're not. They're $10. So where's all that money going? You think it's going to the cabal? You think it's going to these rich men? And then they lie to you. They'll say, well, you're going to die from cigarettes. So we need to give all this money to the hospitals because you're going to die from cigarettes. So we need to give all the money for advertising so you don't smoke. Right? Okay. But guess what? You die anyway. So they're charging you on something that's going to happen to you anyway. If you don't die from smoking, you're going to die from being hit by a car, run over by a bus, etc., etc. So how'd they just fool us? How'd they just kid us around saying, we got to charge you this much for this pack of cigarettes. We got to add another $3 towards your pack of cigarettes to pay for the hospital bills when you go die in the hospital from smoking. Well, guess what, people? You're going to die anyway. You're already there. So they're charging you for nothing. Think about it. That's the way my mind works anyway. You either die from smoking or you die from a heart attack or both. But you're dying. But they're still charging you for something that was going to happen anyway. There's so many little things that they hook you on, from the price of gasoline to the price of your milk. Gasoline is more expensive than milk. Gasoline comes out of the ground. You got to feed those damn cows. Things aren't right in society with all these people putting their hands and they're taxing and getting rich so they can fly around the world and eat that caviar and drink that champagne. We got to fix that. And that's what I'm all about, is fixing things, letting people know the truth. I got 70 people in here. That's usually my limit. That's what I get. 5 people just left instantly when I said that. Isn't that crazy? I looked up, I had 70, and then all of a sudden I only had 65. If you'd please share this on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you can share it, please share. I'm the real John Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr. I'm trying to make a difference. I'm trying to expose what's really going on in this country. And I'm asking each and every American, each and every patriot to help share it. Because it's my life now. I tried that vaping thing once too. I did, and it's all flavored. I tried to quit smoking once. I did. So I started chewing tobacco when I was young. I went to chewing tobacco. I had that can in my pocket. My pocket would be turning around. That was a big thing going to school, having a round circle in your pocket in school. So then, not only am I chewing tobacco, getting that shit all over my teeth, but then I'm smoking too. So then I'm really walking around with a nicotine high with chew under my lip and cigarette in my hand. I was a badass though. I really was. Yeah. I could share some stories about how the cabal work, attempts on my life. Attempts on my life. Short story. I was going to Yosemite High School continuation. But anyway, it was more like a party. It really was. I'd never go to school. I would go to auto class and learn about working on cars and things like that. But the rest of the school I wouldn't go to. The rest of the classes. But I met this guy up on a hill. He said, "Try some of my snuff." I was like, "Cool." He said, "Yeah, I put some whiskey in it, make it flavored." Well, I put a pinch in my lip, and I had the worst sore throat I've ever had in my life. It would not heal. Day after day after day, my throat was inflamed. It's like it burned my skin. I don't know what he put in there, acid, battery acid or something, but it fucked me up bad. I didn't know who that guy was. I just did a stupid thing and put my fingers in his can and put some under my lip. What happened to that guy afterwards? That's a whole nother episode. Yeah. Anyway, I had to go to the doctors and get on medication to make my throat better. And actually, that was when the Quigley family flew me to Canada. I think it was like the next day after this guy gave me that and I had a sore throat. I had my school books. I'm going out the door to go to school. And the Quigley said, "You're not going to school today. You're getting on a plane going to Canada." I went, "What?" Yeah, some bad shit must have came down. So that's how they always dealt with it. They put me on a plane. Anyway, yeah, so I went to Canada. Canada has free health care. And they're like, "Okay, you're an American. You came here. You got a sore throat." But anyway, yeah, it was so bad. I had to go to the doctors. I never like to go to the doctors or nothing. But yeah, you ever have a sore throat for 2 weeks straight? It's fucked up. But I think it was battery acid or some kind of thing that burned the skin off my throat when I was chewing on that shit. Cabal children are fucking evil. They teach the children young, and my screen just went. Thank you, Lions. Anyway, it's church day. God bless you all. And like I said, when I pray to God, I see that big, bright light that when I was dead, basically, I was dead, floating towards that bright light. I was like, "God, why are these people torturing me like this? Why are they doing what they did?" And then I came back down. It's like God didn't want me yet. So that's how I pray. That's all. I pray to God, and God to me is a big ball of fiery energy, the brightest light you can ever imagine. And when I pray, I don't say, "God, give me $1 million." God wanted me to have $1 million. He'd let me have $1 million. And usually the most time prayers are actually seen is when it is for somebody else. So God bless you, Lions. I pray for you each and every day for your happiness and your joy, and to learn the truth about what's really going on. Thank you so much for all the loves, all the likes, and have a wonderful Sunday. Have a wonderful, blessed Sunday. I'm not going to do much. I got so much work around here to do. I got to print some things out and do some things for lawsuits and yeah, get on the computer and spend some money to file lawsuits and ask for forums and all this stuff just to prove I am who I am. And it's really a bitch. It is just, you know, I'm the victim. My family was the victim, and I have to do all this just to prove I never knew when I came out years ago it would be this hard that I had to prove who I was because they know who I was. But now I know that they are not sharing who I was because they stole so much and they did so many evil crimes within our very own government. So now I'm exposing everything I can do to share what they did to the Kennedy family, the money they have stolen. And it's real easy to follow the money trail all the way back to these presidents, these foundations, and it's one big money laundering scheme for these people so they can stay in power, live in their mansions, and do what they do. And some of us little people worship these people and think they're the greatest thing. People just need to wake up and say, hey, they're all the cabal. They're, everybody you ask says, not everybody, but yeah, our government, our politicians are corrupt. Well, think about that one. When you ask somebody and they say, yeah, our politicians are corrupt, well, guess what? They are all corrupt, and there's no savior for us because it's run by organized crime. The people are our own saviors. We really, really are. And that's why I ask for a share and a prayer. And Quiet Journey's coming out. I hope you all are getting prepared to make videos, to reshare it. And it's all about my dumbass and the truth and the lifetime experience in exposing our government for what they did because they don't want you to know it. They don't want you to see it. They don't want nobody. They want people to say, oh, I don't believe that nonsense. Well, it's not nonsense. It's 100% truth. And people need to believe it so we can change what evil is going on within our country. God bless you all, people. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Thank you for your shares. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your little hearts, your loves. Me and Robin love you guys so very much. We really do. And you are all our family. Yes, you are. Thanks again for all the love gifts, for sharing. I could go on with all my thank yous, but thank you so much, each and every one of you. Peace out. God bless.